Like, what are we doing, bro? Like, we need to stop this
Even
bullshit.
having this conversation. Are you good today? The
Like,
greatest shooter. What is this?
like, we need to stop this shit. Like, the no greatest ever. What the fuck is he saying, bro? Like,
Who, Ricky?
last
I saw
week.
that this morning. I ignored it. Urkel, listen.
But
Hold on? Can you guys listen?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's 15 million impressions for tweets. Last week, 2 weeks ago, it was 5 million a month in order to trigger for you to get revenue on Twitter. And now it's 15 million combined over 3 months. You could have 9 million in 1 month, a million in another month, and then 5 million in another month, and you qualify. It's engagement, dog. Like, don't get tricked into the buffoonery, bro. This
Yeah,
is
I'm not playing
exactly
that
what he
game though.
wants,
Like,
bro. This is what he wanted. He wants engagement. And that's gonna get all kind by posing questions or saying wild things that are certain. Death, taxes. Those things are certain in life. Steph being the best shooter ever. That's certain in life. Wayne Gretzky being the greatest hockey player ever. That's certain in life. There are certain things in life that's just certain. And Steph Curry being the greatest shooter ever is one of them, brother.
yeah, so I'm not about to play that game. So I don't really tweet a lot necessarily. Like, now that I do spaces and all of that stuff. So there was a point where I would tweet a bunch and all of that. But here's the thing, like, I'm shadow banned anyway, so what's the fucking point of me tweeting? Like, I just hop on spaces, I start a playback, right? So I don't play that game. You know what I'm saying? Because I tweet, I get reported. The less I tweet, the less I potentially get reported. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really play that tweet game. So I don't do the thing on the timeline where I'm like dancing and trying to get impressions and all of this fucking bullshit. You know what I'm saying? If I got something to say, I just start up a playback, I start a spaces. You know what I'm saying? So that bullshit, I don't play that shit. But anytime I see no nonsense like that, it really gets under my skin because I'm like, one, I know what the fuck you're doing, and two, why are you doing that? Why? You might as well say, you know, D'Lo is better than Steph or some fucking bullshit like that. Like, what are
wait,
we
what did he
actually?
say, Eric? What did he say? I just
Huh?
came back from a run. I just came back from a run. What did he say? I didn't see what happened.
Fam, the the man said about how how Chris Mullin, there's no greatest shooter ever. I was like, what the fuck are you saying, bro? Like,
Yeah, he wants he spoke on that gumbo because niggas he's frying
oh
right now.
my god, this shit is it's I don't know, it's stupid to me, and it gets under my skin for some reason. Like, and I see a lot of people doing that lately. I see a lot of people going outlandish now. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how outlandish you go, right? It's not going to do you any good because eventually what people are going to start to do is that they're going to become desensitized to it, and then they're going to start to ignore you. You know what I'm saying? So just tweet honestly, man, because I think people know what the hell is happening now. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing with monetization. Like, in a weird way, bro, I wish they didn't go to the monetization route. You know what I'm saying? Because now we're just going to see more outlandish shit on the timeline. Now I'm going to have to unfollow and fucking
Yeah,
mute.
it's gonna get crazy.
Yeah, bro, like, oh my God. Like, anytime money gets involved, bro, like, it's always stupid shit that happens. Always. So we shouldn't even be talking about this, but like, I what he's saying, I believe Stephen Clay when they're right. They're two best shooters I've seen. But
There's no buts, bro.
yeah, bro,
What the
no,
fuck?
no. First of all, there's no but. The
Exactly,
second
there's no
half of
but.
that statement is correct because all those dudes are behind them. Matter of fact, all those dudes are behind
Mullen,
Steph because we know how this shit works.
Mullen can't even lick Steph boots, bro. Like, what are we
Come
talking
on,
about?
dog. Chris Mullin, get the fuck out of here, bro.
He didn't even call somebody like Ray Allen, but he said Chris Mullen, bro. Like, yeah, this shit crazy.
Come on, dog.
And you know what's crazy? He knows that's gonna get the fan base riled up, bro. He knows that. That's why he's saying shit.
Yeah, so now he's losing credibility now. You know what I'm saying?
I don't followed him a long time ago. I heard him say some slick shit. I was like, yeah, bro, I'm not, I'm not playing that game.
Yeah, there's always nonsense. Always nonsense, man. Always some nonsense. Um, how's everybody doing this morning though? The um the fight, oh my God, it's the last day of the month. The fight playback that we did the other night was pretty good.
Yeah, that shit was lit. That shit was lit
Yeah,
as
man,
hell
I was
for real.
kind of in and out, and I saw like a few people in here, bro. Like I was like, yeah, it's kind of cool, man. Like
Nah, man.
too bad, like we don't have the rights to it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, facts. Yo, when he got knocked out, the whole chat went crazy. Yo, I was like, yeah, that's crazy.
yeah. Um, so what did we see this morning about he has like neurological damage or some shit? I was glancing at one of my man's tweets, and he was like, he was saying that he has neurological damage as a result or some
Who,
shit.
Spence?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you watch him get tagged so much, it was bound to happen, bro. Like 90% of the time, he was getting tagged in the face.
He couldn't have held his
So
hands, bro. Like,
I won't be surprised if he got some brain damage for real, for real.
here's what I'm referring to. Hold up one second. Like, yes, bro, like, boxing is not for the faint of heart, dog. Like, oh my God.
Facts, you gotta be strong to do that shit. For real, for real.
Residual neurological damage. Oh my God.
Yes, that sounds crazy.
Bro. So, what that makes me think of, it makes me think of one, like, what the hell do we know or not know, you know, based on what used to happen before? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Facts.
bro, I remember watching Hagler Hearn, like a Hagler Hearns fight back in the day, bro. And they were just like going blow for blow for blow. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, you go back and you watch it, like post concussion, post all of that shit, right? And then you're like, what the hell were these dudes doing? You know what I'm saying? Because they're just throwing shot after shot. You know what I'm saying? Like none of this rap bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, back in the day, used to be crazy. Niggas used to get hit for
It
real.
used to
That
be
shit
this
used to be
week, right?
crazy.
And it's like he has
It's
residual damage.
no Urkel. It's basically another form of CTE, and now you need
Pretty much.
neuroplasticity surgery. Like you need to start pumping plasma and do different shifts and go through therapy because this is something that he probably previously had,
Yeah,
and then it just knocks it back into it. So he's at the level, and you already see how like he's definitely has this Texas twang, that he has his accent and his twang,
yeah,
and it's slowed down. But I've noticed for a very long time, and you got to remember, he's like what 33 years old. He's probably been boxing since he's like 6 or 7 years old. That's a lot of hits to the head. Doesn't matter how good you are. You understand what I'm saying? So we'll see, bro.
What's
That
up,
was
fellas?
crazy.
What's poppin'?
What it do with the businesses?
Man down, man. Spence did
I,
hold it
I'm
down
yo,
for him.
bro.
Hey,
I'm
man.
I'm
That
sad
dude,
for your Texas partner, dog. I'm
yeah,
sad, but Bud was just masterful, bro. He had a plan. He
he had a
executed.
plan. Yo,
I'm gonna be honest with you. I had an argument with my brother and my other boys, and in my
yo,
mind, I knew Bud Crawford would beat him. But the problem with Bud is like he leaves himself open, and he doesn't protect his body to all that. So I said,
right,
like, the sensible thing for this guy to do. You understand what I'm saying? And to give you guys a scale, like, for with all due respect, like a lot of people talk about boxing. They my name is SB. You know what SB stands for? Shadow boxer. My hands are weapons. Like I've been boxing and doing martial arts my whole entire life. Like, so I understand how boxers think. I understand how to break down a boxer. Bud Crawford is amazing. Now, I would view him more like, it's hard. It's like saying, oh, who's like between Floyd Mayweather and Bud.
See,
People,
but that's why I stop at that Shadow. See,
yeah,
because
yeah. So
I already said before, if he won this fight, here come the bullshit with the Mayweather shit.
yeah,
Like
but what I
it's
want
levels
people
to
to
this shit.
understand is the level. Like you can't compare Mayweather to other boxers. You got to compare him to other athletes. And like
Facts, facts.
outside of maybe Wayne Gretzky and Michael Jordan, I'm talking about the gap relative to the era. The gap
Right.
between Mayweather and anybody else relative to the era was seismic, like gigantic. Like
Yep.
he literally reshaped
Boxing.
boxing like how Steph reshaped basketball. Like
Yep.
before people would go in there slugfest, Mayweather said, "Isn't the point of boxing to have all your faculties when you're done?" And then
Yeah.
when you think about it, all those great Sugar Shane Mosley, Pernell Whitaker, Vinny Panziet, all these guys who took hits to the head even Muhammad Ali, when you hear them speak after,
Mm.
you're like,
Yeah.
bro,
Yep.
It's some
Look at him in his
bullshit.
old age. Look at Ali in his old age. Could barely even freaking shake his hand.
yeah, but it wasn't. He didn't even get old
Yeah.
before that stuff started happening. That's it. This is
That's
what
the
I'm.
crazy part. Yeah. He
That's what it.
shit
That's
was
the
Mm-hmm.
on.
crazy part. Like he started
Yeah.
deteriorating, like maybe like 3 years after he retired. You
Yep.
understand what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So
It was quick too. It was
it
quick.
was quick. And so what I'm saying is like Bud is amazing. He's a fantastic fighter, and he's clearly right now, this very second, as far as a boxer technician, pound for pound, the best boxer of this era right now. Like we're not gonna debate that. But to compare him to Mayweather is not a crazy. It's ludicrous, but it ain't crazy when you look at
Cause
things.
I'm gonna tell you something, Shadow.
Yeah,
If if the homie would have went out there, you can't box a boxer, bro. You you gotta fight him. You gotta
yo,
fight with this
brother.
Yeah.
I
motherfucker,
don't
bro.
even understand why this guy is
Like,
not wasn't brawling, wasn't
bro,
staying on the inside, wasn't
He
doing all this.
wasn't even protecting himself. His guard was down the whole
He was
fight.
just, and this guy was just doing like jab flicks and straight jabs, and this like technically breaking him down. And
down,
people
yeah.
have to understand, like, bro, I love Kobe. Like Kobe is in my top five, like unequivocally. But he reversed engineered Michael Jordan, and that's why we get Kobe. He's like the the copy will never be better than the original. It just
Right.
can't happen. And Bud, like literally reverse engineer Mayweather, Pretty Boy Floyd. Like he took that era and he said, "I want to be him," and worked, watched film, and countlessly worked to be him. He sat there, like, with all due respect, he's like,
I'm gonna give you something on this, Shadow. The
yeah,
best defensive fighters I've ever seen fight, and it's no order, but Floyd would be the best defensive fighter I ever seen. But after that, it was Bernard Hopkins, Winky Wright, and fucking Andre Ward. Those guys, you could never get in, bro. They would deflect your shots off of them. It would be easy. You would never get through their guard.
yeah, but what's even crazy now? Compare Mayweather to them and give it a scale. Mayweather
Oh,
is dwarfs them from the
yeah.
defensive side, and people acting like I don't even know what people are thinking. Defense in boxing is like literally gonna save you more than a punch, because at the end of the day, everybody can give a punch, but can you take a punch?
Can you take a punch? Yep.
Can you take a punch? And Mike Tyson said it best, one of the greatest quotes of all time. Everybody got a plan
Till
until I
they get
punch
hit
him in
in
the
the
face.
mouth. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So like I get the Bud and he's generational and he's great and I'm loving the fact, but what Mayweather did from the business standpoint. Bro, the man bought himself out of a fucking contract for 700 grand. And then in 3 fights proceeded to make the following 3 fights proceeded to make 700 million.
Yep.
Dog, we are not gonna do this. we we are not even gonna put any boxer in the
And
sentence
the
of
dude
Mayweather.
is still fucking making hands over fist money doing these expeditions, bro.
Like stuff that's not even like
These expos, bro. He going overseas, killing it, fighting in Dubai and
making
shit.
making in an hour making 30, 40 million, dog. Like, it's foolishness, bro.
Is that what he's doing right now?
Yeah,
Yeah, he
yeah.
been doing that.
He
He
been
been
doing it.
doing that, and nobody's
Fighting,
talking about. And
fighting bullshit people, man. Just if hey, if they can hold up their side by some money, bro, they going down there
fam,
with us, bro.
Yeah,
the
he
man
been doing
just
that for
fought
years,
John
like 2 years.
Gotti's son. The
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
man literally just fought
Didn't
John
he fight
Gotti's son, bro.
one of the brothers? What's his name? One of the Boer brothers or something like that. The Paul brothers, something
So
like
is that
that.
kind?
Drake.
Hold up,
You talking about the
is
Paul, Jake
Yeah,
Paul?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. He
so
fought
hold
They
up, is that
started.
the
Ortega.
kind
They
of money
started.
that he's making in retirement right now?
Hey,
Yeah,
They started.
I'm
They
gonna
started
tell
with.
yeah,
you something. I'm gonna tell
They
you
started
something.
with Conor McGregor. That fight. That
It's
Conor McGregor
it's
fight. That's what
it's
started
more
it.
than that. It's more than that, Shadow. When he fought that motherfucking, I think Tokyo, Japan. He just fought
Yeah,
that. He fought a motherfucker over there. He made like 100 million, bro.
yeah.
That's
yeah.
stupid.
But
It's stupid.
no, but
And he's not
because
going like it's like 5 round matches like that. It's
I
crazy.
know, but the thing about it is he's earned that right.
That
And
right? Yeah.
to give you perspective, Bud Crawford
Facts.
is 35 years old, and
And
this is
just
his
not
biggest
breaking
pay pay,
through.
and this is
Yeah,
the
just not
first
breaking
time he's
through.
gotten over $5 million.
Only the real boxing fans know. We been knew about Bud. I respect Bud and I like Bud, but I rock with Spence. I wanted Spence to beat that
Yeah,
motherfucker.
because
You know
he's a
that's
Texas kid, so
yeah,
you obviously you're rooting for, you know what I mean,
yeah.
your state guy, but brother, that man put on a
A clinic. He put a
clinic,
clinic.
bro. It was crazy. I was I was like, do you guys ever watch television or watch a show and you literally get embarrassed for the person? I was embarrassed for Spence. I was so disappointed. I was in my corner, but in my mind, from a logical standpoint, I have 15 arguments with other people in boxing, and I said Bud is going to break that man down. But in the what Spence represents and the hope that he gives to so many other boxers and other people, I wanted Spence because he just there's like his personality, everything. There's
Yeah.
everything to like about him. The
He a
problem
humble
with
dude.
Bud,
Yeah.
why Bud never made no money, he has zero personality. And
Right.
Floyd Mayweather brought like remember Ali, Spence, like even George Foreman. Everybody used to talk their smack, and Don King formulated those guys in order to do that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Sonny Liston, all these guys used to talk smack, and that's part of it, the bravado. But then when you come in now, and you don't have that. You just I just want to box. I just want, bro. This is sports and entertainment, and
Entertainment. Yeah.
if you're not
Ain't nobody
entertaining
buying
and
it. Ain't
talking,
nobody buying
nobody's
it.
gonna go, bro. Nobody gonna go. There's like Gervonta he's an amazing fighter, but for the first 15 fights, he didn't really know how to talk his stuff. Then he
Talk.
started being
Yeah.
around Floyd, and then now he's got it down to a science.
Facts.
Whereas, yo,
I seen
He
I'm
didn't know
really
how to
gonna.
market himself.
Now he figured it
I
out,
seen
and that's why he's
Javante.
the highest paid.
I seen Javante sparring in Floyd's gym when Floyd was getting ready to fight Berto. I seen him, man, and he motherfuckers. We was betting money in that bitch, putting the jack down. We stayed in that bitch till 3 in the morning, fam. 3 in the fucking morning. Everybody getting down. Floyd was the last one to spar. That was the first time he ever opened it up for the fans to go. I was in that bitch from like two two Vegas time all the way to 3 in the fucking morning. I ain't fucking leave, bro. I love that shit, man. That shit was everybody coming through, bro. If just say me and you in that shadow, we say
Yeah,
fuck it, let's put the gloves on. You goddamn get in the ring and scrap it out.
yeah, 100%.
They call that bitch the dog pound.
Yeah,
Shit.
100%. And that's why,
Yeah,
like, the sport of boxing, like, needs, like, Mayweather literally saved boxing for like a decade when MMA was coming up and they were having bigger numbers and doing all those things
right.
outside of like, first, Mayweather learned. He said, "Yo, the pretty boy and all that." He said, "That's all cool. I want the money." And you know
Yep.
who got the money? that that Vato across from me, or Golden Boy, he got the money.
Golden boy.
He's
Yep.
running his promotion. He's doing his thing. Let me reverse engineer and do it better. And let me bring
Yep.
the girls into it. Let me bring the diamonds into it. Let me
The
bring the
diamonds, the
cars into
Maybach.
it.
Yeah, the
the
Maybach,
whole
the
lifestyle,
Jets, the
the
Jets,
whole the
the
jet, yeah,
Jets.
and
Yeah.
then that's and let me align myself with the biggest rappers alive.
And then
50 is through the roof. He's like, yo,
you know
50,
you know
let's
what he
swag out.
did too. You know what he did too.
Yeah,
Shadow. The motherfucker started branding, bro. When he came with the money
yeah,
more
TMT,
TMT.
TMT, yeah,
Yeah, that kind of put him over the top too, doing that shit. And when you do that, the only thing you gotta go do is back it up. You fucking win. Oh, that
yeah.
shit gonna shoot out the roof, bro.
And
And
especially when he came with,
he was
especially when
smart.
he came with his own linguistics. People were saying the goat, the greatest of all time, with Muhammad
Yep,
Ali. People don't
yep,
realize that Muhammad Ali coined that phrase, the goat. When we say
yep.
yo Jordan's the goat, or yo everyone says oh LeBron's the goat, that
Nah, it was
came from Muhammad Ali, the
Muhammad
greatest of all
Ali. Yep,
time. Fly like
yep.
a butterfly, sting like a
Sting
bee. I'm
like
the
a
greatest of
bee.
all time. Like you
Yep.
understand what I'm saying? I'm the GOAT. Like so that's where it came from, and people don't even understand their history. You got to know where you was to know where you're going, brother. It's like navigation. If you could put in the destination, but if you don't have that location on, that shit gonna be spinning you in circles all day, every day.
All day. Yep.
And that's what people are doing right now in boxing. Like even though Devin Haney's he's a solid boxer. I think he's a star. I don't think he's a superstar. Javante Davis is a superstar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Canelo was a
Yeah,
superstar.
Tank is a
Because,
superstar.
you know what I mean? These people are superstars because people don't have to understand is like your base and where you're from matters. Like when you formulate a
Yep.
base, especially if you're hometown, there's a reason why Burner Boy right now, like there was a whole thing on the timeline. Who could do stadiums? Only Beyonce, maybe people are like maybe Drake. People are like, oh, Little Baby can. I'm like, how's Little Baby doing stadiums? And then
Right.
people have to understand. And then a man like Burner Boy comes, and Beyonce's in Paris. Burner Boy goes to the same stadium and sells that shit out faster. Why? Because in the whole East Africa, it's French speaking. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying? In the whole East Africa, it's majority French speaking outside of like Somalia and certain things. You understand what I'm saying? It's French speaking. Even on the coast, Morocco and Northern Africa and Morocco, they speak French. You understand what I'm saying? So they go to Paris. So there's a huge conglomerate. Bro, in Africa, they do not do census. It's not organized like how America is. They say, oh, there's 365 million. Bro, my grandmother has 19 kids. She has never written and said to the government, I have 19 children. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying? Like, or
Right.
people come to her door and do a census. I'm from Ghana. They say Ghana has like 40 million people. Ghana got like 100 million people. Believe me, bro. Um, um, Thinger has more people than the United States, but they would never know, like Nigeria. Burner Boy is from a small little village, a town that in like 30 years ago had like 159 people. Since then, it has over almost 3 million people. That's almost 3 million people. Brother, that means like, that's like you're from the fifth ward. Literally.
Right.
Everybody and you rap. Everybody in the fifth ward got your back. People figure like, how is Burner so big? I go, bro, in Nigeria
Got
alone, there's 450 million people. Where
got the
his
village behind
block?
him.
When people
Right.
say, oh, like O Block or Compton, his
Right.
block has 2 million people. So Floyd, same thing. Floyd tapped into the hip hop culture. You know what I mean? Bernard Hopkins was black, but he wasn't tapped into the hip hop culture. Pernell Whitaker was black, but he wasn't tapped into the hip hop culture.
Tapped
The
in.
only
Yeah.
other person outside of Floyd, and at the time he was gigantic, but people don't remember because you had to be in that era, was Roy Jones Jr. The man was
Yeah.
rapping. He was thing. He
Yeah.
put Florida on the map. This guy was running around with chickens and rapping and doing all that. And then the swag that he was bringing to boxing was so crazy, and he was winning in multiple divisions. You understand?
Right.
There's a reason why Manny Pacquiao was so big because the whole South Pacific,
Right.
the whole
Right. Right.
Asia,
Had
the
the
whole Philippines was behind him, and because he was Asian, China started to tap in, Singapore started to tap in, Taiwan started to tap in, Vietnam started to tap in. So now you have you have a brand. That's why Stephen Curry became so big globally because people can be attached to him. He's 6'2". He's the muted. He's not like a big 7-footer. People can relate to him.
he
So when
brought he
kids go
brought
into the
Steph
gym,
Steph brought hope
yeah.
to the kids, bro. You can be a small funk on and still make it to
And
elite.
but that's why so many people like you'll have like basketball, like people who know basketball people who say, "Yo, Bron is my guy." But if you talk about little kids, bro, I know majority of LeBron fans, their kids, they can't push
They
They
like
love
LeBron's
Steph.
kids.
yeah.
Their
They love
kids
Steph.
don't get it. They're like,
Right.
"Yo,
They
Steph,
don't.
get me that 30 jersey."
Yep.
You walk into a gym right now, like right now, you walk into a gym, you gonna see little kids trying half court shots, 3 points. That's it. That's all they doing, bro.
And then you know what made Mayweather get to where he was right now today is fighting. He knew how to embrace being a villain. That's why he used to fight
Yep, that's a fact.
The Mexican fighters. He used to fight on Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah,
Just
he
as
used to
many
bring
of
bring
us
the
wanted,
sombrero, do
yeah,
it all, bro.
just as many of us
I
wanted to see
remember
him
the
win.
sombrero.
It was a goddamn that many of people on the Mexican side wanted to see that motherfucker lose, and they hated that motherfucker so bad they would show up to the fights.
Facts.
They was gonna buy the fights. They wanted to see that motherfucker lose, and
Yeah,
he
that's why he
embraced
sold
that
the
shit, bro.
most pay-per-views. The
Yeah,
man would sell 3 million pay-per-views, but 400,000 are Mayweather fans, and 2.6 million want to
a
see his ass
Mexican.
lose. And then he leaned into that. Like,
Yep.
bro, you don't got to tell me about, like, bro, you're from Florida, bro. Like, white people are the minority now in
Right.
Florida, bro. You go on those border towns, bro. The whole town is Mexican, bro, with no
Yeah.
papers. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
already.
and I'm loving the fact that boxing is getting back to a place. But I just think that there's so many boxers, like an overall, the body of boxing got to change. Like
Right.
the guys who run WBO, like with all due respect, you gotta get some
The
niggas in
belts,
there, man.
yeah,
You
the
got to
belts
get
gotta
some
matter.
black people.
Belts need to
You know what I'm
matter,
saying?
man. I remember when the
Yeah,
belts used to matter, man.
because everybody's dipping and dodging, and on top of it, like right now, the only guy who has a chance to beat Crawford right now is about 4 years too early because you don't have that like Boots. Like
Boots,
Boots
I
Ennis,
think, yeah, Boots can go,
yeah, but
bro.
he doesn't have ring maturity.
Yeah,
You
he
understand what
not
I'm saying?
he not as polished.
He's
Yeah,
gonna hear the crowd and go
right.
try do
Go crazy.
go
Yeah,
crazy, do the shape shifting stuff and do all that. You understand what I'm saying? Kind of
Yo,
like
for real,
kind of
son.
like
That's
in
a
the
fact.
MMA, what happened to Anderson Silva? He put his jaw in
Yeah,
front of the guy, and the guy
and
tapped him
and
and
got
put him
remember,
to
tapped
he
sleep
him.
knocked him
because
out.
Yeah,
he didn't have the ring maturity. He had the
right.
Hmm.
talent, but he didn't
Yeah,
have the ring maturity. But then
yeah,
you have guys like Randy Couture, who's not even half as good as 90% of these niggas in the sport. But the problem is he had ring maturity and he had the know-how on
yeah.
what to do, what not to do, when to bring it to the ground, when to pound, when to. He was the one of the first guys that came in and said, "Bro, it's MMA, but let me box because majority of these guys are doing ninjutsu, jiu-jitsu. That's why the Gracies started getting their ass beat because they would whoop
Yeah,
you, judo flip you, and then you're done, or submit you and then you're done. But they would not go close and make the fight standing up. And then Couture said, "Let me stand up and swag out." That same thing with Ken Shamrock. You know what I
Ken
mean?
Shamrock. Yep, yep. That was
Let me
back in the
start
day
back. Bro, I remember year one of
of
MMA. You understand what I'm
MMA.
saying?
Yeah.
They used to literally
Uh
call it
huh.
cockfighting, pause. You know what I mean? But
Right.
at the end of the day, right now it's about entertainment. And Dana White, all Dana White is a white Don King, my nigga. Like he
That's
took
it.
Don King because people
Fucking big
forget
ass plantation.
Dana White started out in TMT. Like he started out with Floyd. He was carrying
Right.
Floyd's bags. He was helping
Yep.
Floyd with the pads and stuff like that. That's how he got. And then he had the Fertitta brothers. He knew them, so he brought them an opportunity that he could buy the shit for real cheap. And he knew, and he had the branding and the vision, and took what boxing did, and he said, "Let me bring it to MMA," and took that shit to another level. And then when he sold it to the Saudis, he doubled down, kept his percent, took a little cash, but then doubled down and brought more stake into it and owned more. And now he on top of the world. He dictates
Yeah.
where it goes, and he doesn't. He didn't want to really build one star. He'll build one star for a moment, just to tear him down. Same thing what he did with
He tried
so
it.
many
He tried
fighters.
it. He tried it with old boy
Conor
Ngakwe.
McGregor.
Nah, Ngakwe.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah,
Franchise. Yeah.
but
He
you know these people are African, bro. He's like, bro,
yeah. That's why
my
he dipped.
ancestors were slaves. We are not doing that. I'm just not
Yeah.
gonna take anything.
That's why he dipped, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and now he's making 10 times more
Making
money.
to exactly.
He owns piece of the league. Um, that's why a smart motherfucker is fucking Jake Paul, bro. Like Jake Paul, like people laugh at him from the boxing standpoint, but he
Shit.
in
He,
in in
he
a
making
span of
money.
like 3 years, he's made
He did,
more money than legends in the boxing game.
yep. And them,
Legends, legends,
that's the people that's hating
like
on him.
super legends.
That's the people that's hating on him because he didn't flip that shit, bro. He didn't made a mockery out their ass. Like, you out here going to get your ass taking all these licks. I'm gonna go ahead and be entertaining and fight these motherfucking bozos, and I'm gonna make twice as much money as you ever made.
100%. And right
Yep.
now he's in his bag doing the do, and then he embraced being the villain. So he started poking fun at Dana White so much and started dissing him so much that Dana White figured out, like, bro, I need this guy because he's got the youth on Smash.
Yeah.
So if I don't do that, so he started going back and forth. He got caught up, just like when people start going crazy on you on Twitter and they start talking crazy, you gonna speak up. He finally got Dana White to budge and speak up, and now Dana White's like, bro, I just did one little buffoonery and I made 50 M's without putting up 50 M's. Oh, okay, I could dig this. Look, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? So so
That
at the
shit
end of the
crazy,
day,
bro.
at the end of the day, it is what it is, man. But like boxing is such a hard sport from the fact of just the fact of the like forget if you can box or not. The conditioning alone, 99% of people in the world cannot jump rope for longer than 1 minute. Never mind bang out a 3 minute round. You understand what
Right.
I'm saying?
Shit.
And
Yeah, you got to
and
be in
12
shape.
of those motherfuckers, if it's a title fight and you weigh a little bit less, or never mind 10 of those motherfuckers, or even 8 of those motherfuckers, or 4 of those
Yeah.
motherfuckers, and when you're in the amateurs, bro, the conditioning, your legs start feeling heavy, your arms start feeling heavy, you start losing all your potassium. You need to get hydrated and with electrolytes, and
And
you
you
just
gotta be,
feel like
and you still gotta be able to think. That's the killer part. On top of
yeah,
all that, you gotta have your faculties up there to think on what you finna do to this motherfucker. How you finna counter this motherfucker? You gotta
bro.
think while you fatigue, bro.
I've been in the ring so many times, bro, and you get so mad when you get rocked, bro, and when you get hit, you get so mad you just want to do, and you're not even thinking going in there. So that's why majority of people get hit, and then you see the first one, and then they charge in there, and then the man comes in there and dips and tags them. That's why Mayweather used to win his fight because mentally he already broke them down by round 5 because
Right.
you can't hit it, bro. Canelo was great and was seasoned and was one of the best in the world, but Mayweather just used his veteran swag and he went in there and killed him. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's crazy.
I remember when he fought Canelo. I knew Canelo wasn't gonna beat him. Shit. I
Yeah,
used to kill.
tell that to Vegas, man. They kept they even Vegas hated him. The guys who were making the lines hated Mayweather so much. Mayweather
Yep.
was smart, bro. Like even some of the because of the bodies, bro. Mayweather was early and often on that betting shit, bro. The
Oh
man would
yeah.
just
Oh
go to
yeah.
the box office, bet on himself. Oh, I'm the underground. Okay, let me throw. I'm gonna get it back in the purse. Let me bet on myself. I'm
Yep.
getting $1 million for this fight. Let me bet 800,000.
Double up. Yes, sir. Double up. Urkel, so I'm glad you didn't get the fight, brother. I'd have felt bad. You got the fight, and my boy didn't even come out and show nothing. So
Yo, I don't know how you do it, bro.
Do what?
I'm doing this juicing and just fruits and vegetables, and I'm hurting, bro.
I know it's taxing on your mind, man, and you get hungry as hell. You just gotta fight through
Bro,
it, brother. Go to
I did a
sleep.
better
three. I
better
did a
take.
Go
3 mile
to
run.
sleep at night, man. Just go to sleep
I,
early, bro.
I did a 3 mile run today. I worked out for 20 minutes, and I was like, time to go get this juice. But I'm so hungry. I'm like, it's messing me up, bro.
So so you might not be getting enough calories. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to make sure that you're getting enough calories. So my calorie thing for like to gain is around 2,500 calories based on my activity,
Jeez.
right? Now, if I up the activity, you know what I'm saying? So say I'm working out for like or I'm active for like 2.5 hours. That probably goes up to like 3,000, 3,500. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends on how active you are.
Facts.
Now to go into bro, like this thing, it's like plus or minus 300 calories basically, right? So to gain, you got to be plus or minus 400, and then to lose, you have to be like in the 1,700, 1,800 range. That's for me. I'm like 6'1", you know what I'm saying? So it just kind of depends, right? So
Yeah.
it's really just a matter of measuring your calories, measuring your macros. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you have to do. So I would use MyFitnessPal, and I would get in there and see, and just make sure your body.
Yeah, and scan everything, and
Yeah,
if you
bro.
want to
Scan
lose weight, be in a caloric deficit. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
bro.
I'm doing a
And
cleanse right now, so I ain't trying to gain, but
Okay.
I'm doing a cleanse. So it's just like I
okay,
got
yeah,
this.
yeah. So you're probably doing what, a 3 day cleanse,
I'm about to go for 30 days, bro.
30
Yeah.
days.
So my caloric deficit, like what I'm on to staying in to like maintain my protein and all of that shit, it's around 1,800 calories. But what I do is that and here's the thing too, you have to be on a clock. You know what I'm saying? So I get up at 5:30,
Hell yeah.
right? So you get up at 5:30. I do fasted cardio in the morning. So I get up at 5:30, do my cardio, get a smoothie, and then 2 hours later I eat breakfast, and then lunch, smoothie, uh, and I work out in the evening too. So I do like a post workout smoothie, and then I eat dinner. So that's how many meals? That's like 5 or 6 meals or something like
Five, yeah. Touch.
that, right? So you want to be like in the 5 or 6 range, just based on how big the calories are for each meal. So once you stay in that mode, um, and if you're like whatever goal if you stay on that clock, bro, you are your body will transform. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't even have a
Yeah.
choice at that point.
Yep. That's what I'm gaining for, because I'm doing a detox
Yeah.
and a cleanse, and it's just like it's crazy, bro.
So, bro, I see y'all in the chat saying about 5:30 is crazy, bro. Like, so
No,
imagine
no,
when I'm doing
that's the time I get up too.
bro. Imagine when I'm doing spaces, and I'm doing spaces like twice a day on a game day. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, that shit's crazy.
yeah, bro. That's
Oh yeah.
that's when the shit starts to get crucial. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to be in that mode. You know what I'm saying? You have to get up at a certain time, because the earlier you get up, the more activities you can squeeze in
Yep.
that entire day, right? So
Yep. True
mine
shit.
is 5:30. So I get up at 5:30, cardio, come back, answer emails, um, check on like my people or whatever, right? See how they're doing, see if there's any fires I need to out. Come on, fucking playback, do playback on days that I'm not in the office. Um, make sure I get my meals in, check on my kid. Like it, bro. Like my calendar is like a whole thing. So you just got to be precise. You know what I'm saying? Like to squeeze in like family and work and all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to be really, really precise. So that's why I choose 5:30, because then you can squeeze in more activities during the day, and the later you get up is the less that you can squeeze in. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So
It's so true. I learned that
that's
from the
just how I
military.
do it, bro.
I learned that from the military. I used to get up at 5:30 and go run 6 o'clock. And then
Yeah.
9 o'clock we back at formation for to start the workday. It's like, damn.
So the later you get up, man, I mean, it's just gonna put you in a deficit for the rest of the day, bro. Like when I was doing spaces, and it was like a intense game or whatever, and I would go to bed at like fucking 10:30, 11. The shit would just throw me off. You know what I'm saying? So for the longest, I was just in a deficit, and then on the weekends, so that's why fucking spaces was just killing me, bro. Like because I couldn't like I got caught in like a deficit trying to squeeze in spaces and the games and all of that shit, bro. So that's
And
why when people were like, "Oh, blah 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 blah," and they were talking
then you
shit, I
gotta
want to strangle
you
somebody,
gotta
bro.
you gotta factor in the different time zones everybody's on too.
Yeah, bro. So I know like half of those goofies who were talking, they don't have the work ethic that I do, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way to have the work ethic. because I
I
got to
was up at
juggle.
5 a.m. today.
Yeah, bro, you got to get up early, man. It's the only way. It's the
Have to
only
do.
way.
What are you talking about at 5:30? What's got everybody up in arms?
No, no, no. It's not up in arms. I was just going through like my routine or whatever because Kev was saying that he was saying that his body is getting used to this routine that he's doing. But you do it for like a couple of days, bro, or like a week or two, you're just going to be used to that routine. You know what I'm saying? And then you just start another routine and then you'll be good. But the initial push is really what kills it, you know?
Yeah, that
I'm
first
excited.
4 days, you gotta get through
I'm
the first four
excited to
days.
get up in the morning. I'm excited about what's gonna happen in every day. I'm excited what the opportunities and things I have to do. I feel like this. If somebody else sees the sun before I did, they done stole part of my day. I want to
Yeah,
see
bro.
the sun before anybody else. I'm
Yeah,
ahead of you. I'm ahead of
yeah.
you. I'm gonna be ahead of you every day. Just that's what Kobe talks about to a
Yep.
much lesser degree because few people have the drive and work ethic that he does. But he talks about if you just have an advantage of a couple hours every day, what that
Hmm.
adds up to over a year or a decade or over a career, and how far in front everybody else that puts you.
So, Dave, that's why I get up early, and I've been doing it since I was in high school. You know what I'm saying? So I've been on this routine since I was in high school,
That's
where
amazing.
you just try to like get ahead because I was a student athlete, right? So same shit, bro. So I try to mimic what I was doing as a student athlete in my work life now. You know what I'm saying? Because then you get like kids and fucking, you have responsibilities at work and all of this stuff. So you just have to get in as much as possible. So people are like, how can you do spaces, this and that, bro? I got three monitors in front of me right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yo,
you know what I'm saying? So I'm here multitasking, doing
Yeah.
shit, talking to y'all and doing all of that, right? So it's just how you prioritize things, bro. Like, so that's why, like, when I see athletes, when we talk about athletes and how athletes do certain things, and then when I see an athlete on a certain routine and I see them on bullshit, bro, that's why I'm so hard on them because I was like, I know your ass ain't on point. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're doing the most, I'm like, there is no way you can perform the way you need to perform if I see and hear that you're doing a lot of that nonsense. So I'll be the last one to sympathize with anyone, bro, because you just got to stay on task, bro. That's all. You just got to stay on task.
I mean, it's the
Yeah,
only way to get, if you're trying to do more than just get up and go to work every day, it's
yeah,
just what you got to do. I mean, I got right here my setup. I got two computers and three screens. Two are for work. One I pivot over to the side for my non-work stuff. I'm running this
yeah.
nonprofit. I do the tours and everything else civically I'm engaged in. It's just been, I get up early in the morning. I do non-work stuff, early in the morning to get that stuff out. And then, I got a call. I just got off a call with India, our back office over there. And we'll just do this client work all day. And I'll go out and do some of this other city civic stuff I'm engaged in. It's very rewarding to me. Once you kind of find what your passion is,
Yeah.
getting up early and putting in the extra hours, whether it be in the evening. And me, I can't stay up, dude. I'm more early morning. I'm old, and so the older I get, the more early morning I'll become. I'm like me. I'm like my grandparents was when I was a kid. Certainly saw I fall asleep early. I'm not one of these people. Like I was talking to a dude. I had a barbecue over the weekend. I was talking to this dude. He sleeps four. Actually, it was a Toyota guy. Sleeps 4 hours a day. And he goes to bed at midnight. Gets up at 4 a.m. I'm
Yeah.
not one of them kind of people. I get them kind of people exist. But since I'm not, I just shift my schedule. Go early to bed and early to rise. Like I was saying, I'm excited about what the new day brings. Just it's not a chore; it's an opportunity.
Yeah, that's how I view it, man. That's how I view it. And if bro, I'm telling you, bro, like if I don't see an athlete performing the same kind of way, bro, I look at them sideways. You know what I'm saying? Like if I see them doing nonsense, I'm like, yeah, you're not gonna last. You know what I'm saying? Like you're just not gonna do it. So, but we need to. So earlier, I don't know if you were in here, Dave, but Ricky G was talking about like greatest shooter nonsense. Like, I don't know what he said, man. I don't know what he said.
Wait,
But
what is it?
he, he was saying that Chris. All right, Dave, you're old school, right? Do you think Chris Mullen is in the same? Because you're older than me, right? So, and you watched that era of basketball through and through. So, do you think that Chris Mullen is anywhere near a shooter to Steph? I
Not on
don't.
the same. Not, it's not on the same plane.
Yeah.
As just as great as great. Greatest I remember watching Chris Mullin in college. I remember when he got drafted by the Warriors. You talk about a dude who transformed himself. You know, he had the alcohol issues, and then once he got over that and got on a bike and became a madman about fitness, that dude he's a lights out shooter. But there's just not even on the same
Yeah.
level, not the same magnitude. They're not on the same plane. As great a
Yeah.
shooter, that's not a knock on Chris Mullin. Greatest shooter as he was.
So back in that
I
era,
probably
like,
describe Rick Barry as a greater shooter than Chris Mullin.
so I was probably around, I don't know, 9, 10 years old back then. You know what I'm saying? So I knew about Chris Smalling, I knew about Petrovic, like all of those dudes or whatever. But I never, like, when Steph, in 2013, when I was watching Steph during that playoff run, like, and nobody else, I don't think ever really gave me this feeling. Like maybe Jordan, um, like Tyson or whatever. But when you watch them, you like in the moment, like when you just start to watch it, like you don't realize what you're watching, but it feels different, right? Like, and it's feeling different because of something that's happening on the court. So when you're watching it, you're like, okay, I've never really seen this before, and he's taking shots that we don't really see people take those shots, and you start to think, you're like, well, what the hell is this? You know what I'm saying? Because when I was watching that playoffs, I was watching it and I was like, this is not normal. You know what I'm saying? Like the dude is taking shots and he's just looking away and he just knows it's going in, and you don't see that kind of confidence and all of that. And when you're in a game and you're in a high pressure game and dude is taking a shot and turning away before it goes in, and then you see the energy around it, you're like, yeah, this is kind of different. This guy's not supposed to be doing this. Then you start to look at the numbers and you're like, this is outlier stuff. He's on volume and he looks like the most efficient player ever. You know what I'm saying? Like the two don't correlate with you. And then all of a sudden, then that translates into them winning a ridiculous amount of games, right? Like now they're winning games to a ridiculous amount of leveling. And when you start to compare it, and you're like, hold up, what is this? Like, so around his shooting, they look like probably one of the greatest teams ever. And you start to correlate that, and you're like, if they're building one of the greatest teams around his shooting, one, how can he not be considered among the all-time greats? Because when you look at the winning, their winning is out, surpasses anything that you would watch, in the 80s, the 70s, 80s, and 90s. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, how can you not consider him absolutely one amongst the greats? And the fact that he used that ability to transform this franchise into winning, I don't see how people can even make that argument. Like, it's a dead argument to me.
I don't know that people really appreciate what this franchise was like before he came. And just its inability to just even be relevant. I mean, we're like the Clippers, right? Kind of a backwater afterthought. At least the Clippers were once they got to LA, were in LA. But there was a long time, you've heard me say this, Warriors couldn't even get a decent coach, let alone get any free agents or players that wanted to come here. The transformation of that, and really that culture, that stuff is the central part of that had other players, and firstly, Andre Iguodala wanting to come here and say like something's brewing. It's really magical and special. I don't know. I haven't had a chance to watch Underrated yet. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I actually rewatched it last night, Dave. It's really, really good. Well done, because it's kind of what they were doing is that they were going between past and present. So the present is, like showing him like at the games, showing him with his kids, like everyday kind of stuff. And then the past, it's showing like him at Davidson, right? And it's kind of highlighting past and present. So, you know, that's the type of thing that it was doing. And what stuck out to me in that documentary is, you know, how similar Davidson looks to what the Warriors are doing,
Hmm.
I
right?
said the
Like,
same thing.
so that is like the biggest thing that it highlighted to me. And, like when people ask, like I have so many people come into my DMs and they'll say shit like, well, bro, why are you so confident in the Warriors? Why are you so confident in Steph? Why are you so confident in these things that he's doing? And my answer is usually is like, yo, like I have no reason not to be confident because I've been just watching it for so long. I don't think they need, like all these all stars. I don't think they need Giannis, KD, all these other guys. I just think they need to play Steph's way, right? Like plain and simple. Just have some dudes out there that can rebound, play make a few shots and defend. And I think that's what the formula is. I don't ever think we need, like all this overwhelming talent and all of this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Because I've always said this, when you have a special player, that special player is going to enable you to cut corners roster wise. So when you see people bringing up all of these, all this help and this, bro, you don't even need all of that shit, bro. Like you just need people that fit with Steph and fit with what Steph does.
I'm
And they
like,
need to
why be confident? Have people been watching? All you got to do is look at history. Look at
yeah,
reality.
Dave, in the 90s, right? Like I remember watching the Chicago Bulls, right? The Bulls were a really good team. I don't think they were the most talented team ever. They just have dudes that just fit what the Chicago Bulls were trying to do, right? Like they started to get really, really talented when they started to bring on people like Kukoc, Ron Harper, and all of that. But for the most part, bro, like these weren't. They didn't have like fucking 3, 4 all stars on one team. Like not really. You know what I'm saying? The most they ever really got to that point was Dennis Rodman. You know what I'm saying? And so Rodman, Pippen, Jordan, right? But Rodman was more like a fucking, in the mud type of player. Like he was never leading an offense and all of that. Like he was more like a specialist, kind of like how GP2 is. You know what I'm saying? So, like what he was doing was creating like a crazy advantage on the court. But I don't think it was like a thing where, like they had like fucking 4 all stars on the team or whatever. Like it was never that. Like so you just need guys like that, man. You just need guys who know how to play and all of that. So that's why no matter what, if the Warriors do the right thing roster wise, they'll always be contending. Always, because Steph is just that great. You know what I'm saying? And when I hear people say like, "Oh, we don't blah blah blah, we don't have this, we don't have that," bro, like they just need capable guys around them. That's it. That's all they need. And I think why they struggled so much last year is because the owner, there is something in the owner and something like that has them believing that beyond this, they think that there is beyond this and beyond Steph, and they can catch lightning in the bottle again. Catching lightning in the bottle again is extremely difficult. But I want to be able to look back and say, you know what, these dudes maximized everything they had and they put it out there and they went with the formula. I just think they went counter to the formula last year and that was highly disappointing for me personally. But I mean
Yeah,
it
they were trying to grab lightning in the bottle. If they could have went that two time track thing, it would have been amazing to just go from strength to strength in the dynasty. But you got to pay a price when that didn't work out, and that price they
Yeah,
paid last year to
I
be
just think
paid
they
this
just
year.
drafted the wrong type of players. Like when you're trying to do stuff like that, or Dave, I'd have a problem with it because just based on how the cap is, I think they should have just drafted, the players who can play basketball as opposed to the high upside people. When you draft for the high upside, oftentimes what happens is that those guys don't necessarily know how to play basketball. Last year they brought in, three players, like three minimum players damn near, but those dudes knew how to play basketball. Next thing you know, the thing looked like they were all-time team. No, they're not an all-time team. It's just dudes that know how to maximize what Steph does. You know what I'm saying? So that's all they need to do. So once they go back to doing that and it's not a million guards on the court, they'll be fine.
Yeah. Cool,
You know.
cool, cool. Well, hey, I just want to pop in and say good morning, y'all. Good morning, everybody. I'm gonna bounce back out and get on this client work.
All right, Dave. Appreciate you, brother.
Y'all
I'm
be
about
cool.
to,
Splash.
yeah, I'm about to jump on a meeting as well, but I just wanted to jump in here real quick, you know, um, and just address that. So I'm gonna just post this on YouTube real quick, and if you want to re-listen to it. If you just hopped in or whatever. But thank you for hopping in again, and if anything happens, I'll pop right on. I am wide open today.